Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
Hello, it's 11:02. It is The Lock Shop. It's a little cloudy out there today. The Nielson family's actually thinking about going to the corn maze tonight. We haven't been out to the corn maze yet this year, and this actually really feels like corn maze weather. Looking forward to that. So I don't even know what the design is on the corn maze this year. I'm not even sure. I have to look it up online so I can cheat and look like a genius to my wife and kids as I work my way through there. I trick them every year. That was a great hangout. Obviously, awesome having Jeff Kershell around the office today, and Murray McCord's great on Mondays, and Tommy Zola riding or controlling that show today with Matt Gazzola, Matt Iwanek on vacation this week. You can text us on the Lock Shop anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The Lock Shop and all of Edmonton Sports Talk is brought to you by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right now at your fingertips. Download the Play Alberta app. Start playing today. You can use our code for this month. There's a new code kicking in when we are back on Wednesday. So you want to hit this one if you haven't already. EST Sports, deposit 50 and get 50. All right, that's EST Sports, deposit 50, get 50. Get a $50 free bet. And it's more convenient than ever now with the new and improved Play Alberta app. Grinded out a 3-2 on my 5 spread picks last week. Missed on the Chiefs. And I did go on that big number on the Bills, 15.5. I should have known better. I thought they were going to smash the Saints. But as Mike Tenier said this morning, the Saints are, what they say, quietly pesky. So that's it's a bit of a tough one. But we've got lots to get to. It's going to be jam-packed. Got a couple of things already up over at Play Alberta today. We'll try to add a little bit more on the Monday night, or there'll be a Monday night parlay coming in from Huss and I for sure today. We had a great weekend in the Canadian Football League. Huss and I both went 4-0 against the spread in the CFL. Not the case in the National Football League. Here's what we got on your EST specials page over at Play Alberta right now. And if you're listening on iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or if you're watching YouTube, I mean, if you're watching YouTube right now, you probably already know, but EST with that page on the Play Alberta page, we're linked into their website. So you click on EST specials. We got 2 plays up there. This one still sits there. Hopefully you've got on it. I'd love to see how much action they've had on this, actually. Connor McDavid, 36+ goals. Leon Draisaitl, 40+. That's plus 121. Then I threw this little bad boy up on our early bird bet from the Nielsen show today. Got it boosted for you. J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown tonight. Garrett Wilson. Didn't hate the number at 5.5. If you want to standalone, play it at 5.5. I mean, he is Justin Fields' biggest option, but also security blanket. He's the guy. His targets this year, I think he's close to 30 targets in 3 games. He's well over 20 targets in 3 games, somewhere in that mid-20s to high 20s. So I moved the number down from 5.5 to 4.5, but like I said, don't hate it at 5.5 either. But for the parlay, I was like, we're going to get a boost. Let's drop it down. So Garrett Wilson over 4.5 catches. J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown tonight. Let's just take a look at the game log for both of these guys so far this year. If you have a best bet, a favorite play for either of the Monday Nighters tonight, let us know, 780-218-9999 or over on YouTube this morning. Hammer the thumbs up. Let's get the Lock Shop the respect it deserves. J.K. Dobbins so far this season, touchdowns in all 3 games. And he's getting 16 carries, 14 carries, 11 carries, a couple of targets. I'd like to see him a little bit more involved in the passing game. But still, touchdowns in 3 straight, so we'll look to extend that today. And then Garrett Wilson, with Justin Fields back at quarterback. Garrett Wilson so far targeted 9 times. 30 on the nose. I was right. He's targeted 9 times, 8 times, and 13 times in their last 3 games. He's caught 21 of those 30 targets. So I moved it down to 4.5, and I like the over Garrett Wilson as well. You can find all of those on the EST specials page at Play Alberta. Jay's play of the day will be popping up there a little bit later on. And once we get back to Oilers season, you'll see Dusty's play of the day on there all the time as well. Duck Dad says, Browning under 9.5 rushing yards. I am pumping this tonight. Okay. I like to hear it. And we got lots to get to with a guy that I hung out with a little bit on Saturday night. It was a lot of fun seeing Huss in the flesh at the Elephant and Castle. I was post Tendies. He was post Bombers, Winnipeg. You put in a shift. You put in a shift on Saturday, didn't you, Huss?
Yes. That was a marathon. Days like that, I have been training for a long time, Dusty. Yeah. It started off at about 12. Bomber game at 2, hit Wind City for a little bit in between games, ripped down to the hockey game, then went and met you. You got out at the right time too. Because
did you go back to Wind City?
No, we went to the King's Head. We went downtown. We went because there was that Nuit Blanche or whatever, and
you were telling me about that, yeah,
all around downtown. So we said that we'd check that out.
I thought I got out earlier than I did, but I got back to the room and it was 12:30. I was just like, I thought it was like 11:20. I lost an hour in there somewhere.
much like my picks against the spread for the NFL, there were a few decisions that I would like to have back, but we move on. It was it was great to see you, and I will say this: I just got a tweet reminding me about a very tough week. Shout out to Potts Bar and Grill.
Yeah, Pottsy.
Yeah, tough week, Huss. 1-5 on the lock shop. Dusty was 3-5. It is true.
3-2.
However,
I was 3-2. We did 3, 4, 5, 1 for 5. Yeah. You were 1 and 4. I was 3-2. Yeah,
5, whatever.
Yeah. We crushed CFL though.
Listen, it's kind of crazy that I'm coming off a terrible week, which is kind of the things that I probably spend the most time talking about with the spread picks. I went 4-0 against the spread against the CFL, hit 2 really nice parlays, bet every game on its own. Listen, the Ryder Cup for me, probably over the course of the entire year, this event will be the thing that puts the most green in the account as opposed to red. I had a 3-digit bet on Europe previously. And then this past week, with where the number was, I doubled down on it. And then I went 5-0 in just match plays, including 2 parlays. So I actually feel like I had this amazing week. And then I look with a very ugly number beside the spread picks. Oh, and I went perfect 3-0 in props too. So
you were flying high. You were flying high Saturday when I saw you. You're like, Dusty, this is the greatest weekend I've ever had. The Ryder Cup, 4-0 on the CFL. Like you were just, and then NFL happens, and there's a lot to discuss there. But look, and most of this will be a football show today. We had a couple of days to dabble in the Jays. Obviously, we'll figure out who they're going to be playing. But congratulations to the Blue Jays on a big win. But Huss, we got to talk Ryder Cup here, man, because it was off the rails through the weekend. And we were asked on our show this morning, good for golf because all eyes were on it, but crazy/bad for golf with some of the things that were being said. Like, it was just, I could not, like, when you see, and they were all, like, I get it with Lowry and Rory, like, giving it back to the crowd when Rory was walking the green. It was like, F you. Like, it was an unbelievable weekend between these two groups. I didn't think it was overall a snapshot of golf right now, but it was more a snapshot of probably the United States right now with how a lot of that was handled. But your thoughts on the madness that we saw at the Ryder Cup?
Well, first off, congratulations to Europe. That is, and when you look at what they did on the first 2 days, like Brandel Chambly broke it down. It was, he said, the European team on those first 2 days did the equivalent of Tiger Woods at the US Open when he won by 15 strokes. They were something like 16 under in alternate shot. I mean, it was simply incredible. And like, I was at the football game. I watched the morning round on Saturday. And then obviously we were tied up at the Princess Auto Stadium in the afternoon. And I just couldn't believe it. I kept on, firing up the app and it was 3 blue flags, 1 tie. At one point, it was all Europe. And they had an insurmountable lead. I will give the Americans a lot of credit. And I mean, maybe this was just trying to not be completely humiliated the way they had been in the first 2 days. But I'll be honest, I had these Europe tickets, and like for Europe to win, those were 3-way markets where if it ended up 14-14, that's graded as a loss because you could bet a tie.
Yep.
All of a sudden, they're getting down to like there's 7 golfers through, and this isn't done yet. You're thinking like, well, wait, what the hell? Could this actually happen? And I didn't see what the number for a USA comeback was, but it probably was like 100-1 or something like that. Like even after a bunch of the US guys had won early on, it was still like 35-1 live, but it didn't feel like it was done. And then Lowry gets the half point on 18 to make sure that they retain the cup. But there were still 3 matches left, and they needed a half point. They were tied in 1. They were down in 2. They ended up getting 2 half points to get to 15. But I will say this, the U.S. showed a lot in the way they played in that final round. But to your point about the event overall, yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, New York fans are known to be, not all, but I think they have a high rate of scumbags there that, will do and say anything. And it was sort of like they were building this thing up that this was going to be their opportunity to just sort of absolutely let loose. And they did. And there was so much stuff reportedly over the line. Someone threw a beer at McIlroy's wife.
Yeah. I think it was probably towards Rory, but hit his wife. Because, I mean, I can't believe somebody would throw something at Rory McIlroy's wife. Like,
I mean,
what are we doing here?
Listen, I mean, the police presence inside the ropes for that group was.
You see when Shane Lowry was going to try to get at he turned to go to the crowd. It's just like, oh my God, man.
Can you imagine if you saw Shane Lowry rolling at you, angry?
That's a solid man. That is a solid man.
He is an absolute bear. But it was incredible.
You said you were at the last, weren't you at the last 2 that were in North America? Did you say that?
Yeah. I was at Whistling Straits and at Hazel
So
Peak.
I'm assuming it was nothing like what we saw. Like it was basically just a normal golf event, a little bit louder, obviously great crowds type of thing for the 2 you went to.
They were like normal human beings at sporting events. They were cheering for their team. Like
right? Cheer for your team. Cheer for your team, but this became just absolutely berate all the like it got carried away. It was a bad look.
It was not good, I think, for the event or for golf, but in a way it just makes what those guys did that much more impressive, that in those conditions. I mean, Rory at the end of the what was it, on 17 or 18, I think it was in the morning round when they were doing the alt shot, he's got to play a shot. Someone says, bleep you, Rory. And he turns around, bleep you, steps up to his ball, hits it to 3 feet, and they win. They turned
around and said, shut the F up.
Yeah.
And then turned around and just threw a dart. I can't imagine how rattled I would be. Golf, just in general, rattles my mind so much. I would have probably swung a club at somebody. Like I would have lost my mind, man. You're right. Like it makes it even more impressive to play in those circumstances and dominate the way you did early in that event when all the heat was on. And it just, we're talking caddies getting a guy. Like it was something else.
I would bet that still like 70-80% of the crowd there was sort of well behaved and, would have been like we would have seen in these other events. But, you've got a few thousand people. And here's the other thing. They cranked the prices. I want to say, like when I was getting tickets for the last couple, I think the Hazeltine seats were like maybe $175, $180 a day. and the Whistling Straits in 21 was like 225, maybe it was 250. They were 750 this year.
Holy smokes.
So I think a lot of those
they were rich
more
assholes.
fans got priced out of it. So then you've got a bunch of rich hedge fund guys that probably have not had to face very many consequences in their lives, feeling like they've been freed and can do whatever they want. So I don't know. That was unfortunate, but to be honest, it just cranked the tension up that much more. And hard to believe we actually had some yesterday afternoon after record. I mean, that would have been far and away the greatest comeback in the history of the event. I mean, to think that Europe won the Ryder Cup and won one singles match is actually almost mathematically impossible, to be perfectly honest. But they did it. But yeah, I mean, 2016 in Hazeltine, I mean, Minnesota, right? Minnesota, nice. Such a fun atmosphere. Saw nothing even remotely close to that. And Whistling Straits in Wisconsin was pretty much the same thing. I mean, lots of great cheers for the States and lots of passion for it, but it didn't have the quote unquote, the ugly American side that we saw of big time. But that made those European guys like it that much more. I mean, did you see what they were up to last night? I mean, they did a video where they're all singing, "Were you watching Donald Trump?"
I saw that video, but I didn't click play. I saw it though. Like, was it Rory who was holding the camera, and then they were calling
him out by name. And then at one point, just so you know how these guys really feel about each other, the Europe team they were on like some big walkway, like looking down at all the fans and spraying champagne or something. And Rory happened to be, they had the names of all the players like along, and Rory happened to be right in front of DeChambeau and basically just took the Europe flag and put it right over top Bryson's name. And it was going like this. It was, I love that event. I was so captivated by every minute that I watched of it. And to be honest, like I wasn't expecting to watch any of it yesterday other than the celebration. And then to be honest, I couldn't stop watching it. I mean, I was watching the NFL and I had it on, but it was the golf that was really capturing my attention.
We're going to get to the NFL because we do have the double dip on Monday night. So let's use the CFL to transition over through football. Like we said, good week for us, 4-0. Both of us were on all the same games. Hit them this week. We've got CFL lines already out for the 3 games this week. I see them. I'll have Huss guess them. Huss, I was in the peg for a pretty stunning game between the Ticats and the Bombers. The best the Bombers have looked. This is a huge Huss week. We'll get to the Chiefs in a second. But the Bombers looked that was the best they looked all year. I mean, Hamilton comes into that game averaging 30 a game. They get held to 3. Helps me win my CFL fantasy over the weekend, which was very stressful while I was calling that game. But I could see a lot of people in Bomberville, like starting to believe again, buddy. That was a very dominant performance on both sides of the ball.
Did that not look like the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were back just in the nick of time?
That was the first time this season, I think, that we've seen the Bombers from the last few years. Am I wrong to say that?
Oh, I felt that way. I felt that way. And I mean, it wasn't just like, listen, they needed to find a way to win that game, considering where they are, the playoff situation. They had to win. But I mean, to do it in such an emphatic way. And I mean, like Zach Caleros, a lot of talk about would Zach play again? Listen, he worked through, he missed a couple weeks. The Bombers found a way to win with Chris Strevler last week. They get their number 1 guy back. Dude, he was 20 of 25 for 367 and a touchdown. No picks. I mean, you had Brady Oliveira go for 98 yards on 15 carries. Nick Dembski was awesome. He was great. Over 100 on the weekend. We even had a Dylan Mitchell sighting, and not just on, some 2-yard play.
Nice catch. Nice catch.
Beautiful throw. And then, I mean, the defense, and this is the quiet thing about the Bombers throughout this last kind of month, losing those back-to-back games in Saskatchewan and losing to Hamilton on the road. The defense has been quietly getting a lot better. Like, the defense played well enough in both Saskatchewan games to win if the offense was at a, level close to where they needed to be. Just wasn't the case. And then the same thing in the Hamilton game. And then you saw the Ottawa game, where they didn't pass the football at all. Like the Eagles in the second half yesterday, 0 pass yards for Philly, by the way. I know we'll get to NFL in a minute. But that was a game that it was absolutely complete. And I mean, Trey Vival, can we just put his name on the special teams player of the year?
Well, rookie, I think rookie of the year too, buddy. Like, I'm trying to think of other rookies around the league this year who've stolen the spotlight. And he's got 4 return touchdowns. I'm like, what other rookie?
And is playing regularly as a corner.
Yeah, like there's no Mackay Polk. There's no Shamar Bridges. Like, there's not a rookie receiver, I don't think.
The guy in Calgary got injured early.
Alfred might have been able to take it right, but and then on the defensive side of the ball, I like Jacob Roberts was around last year. I don't know how it works with the games of qualifying, but Jacob Roberts in Calgary has been pretty good as a guy who prominently has factored in. We have to dive into the ins and outs of the CFL Rookie of the Year, but I think it might be a double hardware day for Vavel CFL awards. So,
but anyways, yes, I will say right now, it feels like the Bombers are back and they know what the final, and what a perfect way to earn your way into a bye week too.
Yeah.
You know what? They'll have the extra rest before they've got Saskatchewan, Montreal.
They get Edmonton come off the bye week. Edmonton is on a bye week this week too. They'll both play next week here after a bye week. So, and that'll be a huge game. Well, that's a huge game for Edmonton, man.
Win over the Riders.
Like the path for Edmonton to get to the playoffs will require some help, but they have to beat Winnipeg by 14 points. That's it. They lost to them by 13 points. To get a tiebreaker against Winnipeg, they're going to have to beat them by 14 points. Tall task, no doubt about it. But, the Edmonton, they probably should have won that game more handily than they did. They allowed the Riders to make it very interesting at the end, but this time managed to hang on. It was very much feeling like the last 2 games in which they were walked off, essentially. But this time, a little bit of miscommunication, I think, and maybe a pick play that didn't work the way the Riders wanted to Ajo at the edge of the end zone. But a critical win. Like, they basically had to have that one, and they got it. And now they go Winnipeg, BC, and then Calgary, I think, to wrap up. I think.
Well, anyways, I saw the first probably 20, 25 minutes of that game. And I was really impressed with what the defense was doing. And they were moving it. And then obviously there was some fireworks in the second half because there was a heck of a lot more points. But they both teams scored 16 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good game. BC won again. That was a little bit tighter than I thought it was going to be.
They win but didn't cover.
No, that's true. The Argos are there. And then, Montreal crushed Calgary on Friday in the first half of that game. Davis Alexander, man, he looked great. Like, he looked really good. We were talking about it because we were watching that game while crushing some tendies the night before the Winnipeg game. And I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Lapo or it was Shinetti or something. But somebody said Davis Alexander's got a little bit of Matt Dunnigan in him. Like just a slinger, jacked, can move.
You mentioned the jacked part. Like the one thing that stood out to me, and this is probably a month ago, was one of the games that he wasn't playing. And I saw him on the sideline, and I'm like, that's Davis Alexander.
He looks like a middle linebacker, man. His neck is like the size of my thigh.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No, he is an absolute. He's a tank. So listen, they came back. They put up 38 on Calgary, which is pretty darn good. What was he? He was 350, 26 of 36.
They get Ottawa twice down the stretch too. I think Montreal is going to win the division. And it'll be Hamilton hosting a crossover. Like, Hamilton, Winnipeg might have been playoff preview, buddy.
I guess if BC wins one more game than Winnipeg.
Yeah, they'd have to win one more game. Yeah, finish one game higher.
The Bombers get third. I hope they get a chance to go into Calgary. Tough to beat a team 4 times in a year.
I'm not sure.
and then the boogeyman rolling back into Taylor or Mosaic Stadium.
I don't think I'm crazy to say right now I could see the West going Saskatchewan, then BC and Winnipeg, and then Calgary. Like Calgary has got into a funk at the wrong time. All three teams have 16 points. Calgary does have a game in hand. Calgary has tiebreakers against both too, don't they? Yeah,
Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think there's a tiebreaker against BC too, or maybe not. They play this week.
Yeah,
BC.
I guess Calgary's had their bye, so they're actually only a half game up on Winnipeg.
Yeah,
they definitely have the tiebreaker on Winnipeg.
No, I know. I'm trying to think if they have it on.
But the BC, I think they play each other again.
Yeah, no, they play this week, buddy, and I think the series is split right now, 1-1. So, or
they only are playing twice.
If they only play twice, Calgary or BC absolutely destroyed them. So, like, they beat them by 29. Yeah, they only played twice. So Calgary's going to have to crush them, or BC will hold the tiebreaker against them too. So I think Calgary might finish. I don't think it's crazy to say Calgary finishes fourth and crosses over to play Hamilton.
Well, that would be fine, but I would love to see the Bombers get another crack at the Stamps. And I'll tell you what, as good as the Riders have been this year, I know that they do not want to see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers roll in with some momentum going in there for the West Final. So it's going to be, let me ask you this. If I gave you the choice of giving you a bet here, you can pick between Winnipeg or BC to win the Grey Cup, who are you taking?
I think I'd be on Nathan Rourke. I think I'm going to side with Nathan Rourke on that one.
You're going to be playing defense.
No, but I don't think it matters. I think they'll hang 35 on whoever. I like the BC Lions offense.
45.
Yeah, they might. Like right now, I'm looking at Grey Cup odds right now because you brought this up. It's interesting. The Riders are plus 270. The Alouettes are plus 345. We'll get to this week's lines. We'll let Huss have a guess at these lines here in a sec. Then we'll go NFL rest of the show. Ticats plus 340. Stamps are plus 440. The Lions are plus 550. And you're going to be like, the disrespect right now. The Bombers are 13-1. They're plus 1,300. The drop off from BC to Winnipeg doesn't add up. So if you're not a fan of the Riders maybe finishing the job in the West this year, you got to sprinkle the Bombers right now at 13-1. I would say that. I mean, with the way these odds currently are, the bet would be Winnipeg compared to BC.
It's funny you say that because last week, and I think I might have mentioned this on the program. Maybe it was when I was with Glue Guy. But 2 weeks ago, the Bombers bottomed out at 20-1, which is the longest number on a Winnipeg team in probably 5 years. They beat Ottawa, but in that bizarre fashion. And I actually took that as a real positive. I mean, listen, I not for a second did I think that they were going to try or win another game that way, but they got the win. They needed it. Zach will be coming back. It's big for the defense, special teams, all that. So last week I bet the Bombers at 15-1. And then you go out and see what they did to Hamilton, a very good Hamilton team. I'll be honest. I thought that we were going to see the Bombers number get chopped in half this week. Like either the bookmakers didn't put a lot into that game, did not watch it, or what? The fact that BC won and that there's still more around. I couldn't help but watch what we saw for that 3 hours at Princess Auto Stadium and thought, if this is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that we see for the rest of the way, they are absolutely live to get back to the big game. And of course, it is in Winnipeg this year. So if it's 13-1, I would suggest that is the value bet right now because defense wins championships. Their defense has been unreal lately, and they just held Bo Levi Mitchell to 3 points in a CFL game. And the offense looked like it was coming around with Zach there. Their special teams is elite. So they are live. Games this week. Yeah.
Games this week, buddy. Here we go. You ready to take a run of these?
Hit me.
Riders at the Red Blacks.
Sask at Ottawa.
Yeah. Ottawa traded Malden this morning or yesterday to Calgary. Calgary needed somebody to replace
Sask -6.
Sask -7.5.
Okay.
It's early in the week, but I think I kind of like the Red Blacks on the other side of a touchdown.
That's a big number.
It's a big number. The Riders haven't been great lately, and Drew Brown can throw for 350 yards in his sleep to make it interesting, at least. So 7.5 is a big number. Argos Ticats in Toronto.
Hamilton -2.
Nailed it. Good work, Huss. Hamilton -2. Hamilton's been super streaky this year. They lost 2, they won 6, they lost 3, they won 3. Now they lost. Let's see. Do you think that line moves much? I don't know. I think it probably hangs around Hamilton short favorite.
It's going to be within a field goal.
Yeah. We'll see where it gets to. If it gets up to Toronto +3 at any point this week, might get on the Argos. And then the Stamps and Lions in just a huge game. It is out in Vancouver. Who do you like there? Or what do you think?
Stamps at Lions.
Stamps at Lions.
BC -4.
BC -5. So you almost got that one too. So BC -5 at home against Calgary. Like I mentioned, they smacked them by 29 in Calgary. I'm not going to do that. Well, who knows? We'll see where the Stamps are at heading into that one. But just 3 games in the CFL this week. Shout out to Lieutenant Eric, who finally, after 10 years, won his CFL Fantasy League. And I told him, I said, this is a special time. Like, because we're kind of the niche guys right now in this CFL fantasy world. So he got a title. I'm in the final in a couple of weeks in my league again. I won in 2023, trying to run it back here in 2025. But next year, this time, I think everybody's going to be playing season-long fantasy at CFL.ca. So I said, enjoy this one. It's special. Next year, there'll be thousands of other people in the country also playing CFL fantasy. So,
yeah, I would love to see them do a bit better of a job of engaging people in. But first of all, they got to figure out the freaking stats. Like,
yeah, well, we were joking this morning because when we had Stu on, like our big push here is to go to CFL.ca, sign up, 4-man, 6-man, season-long league, waiver wire trades, all that stuff. And when we had him on, I said, before we let him go, I was like, what is the update? Like, what's happening? And he just said, I'm just going to leave that one with a smile. So, I mean, unless he hates fantasy and he was mocking us, I think they're probably going to try to have it in place by next year. But Eric pointed out this morning, he goes, yeah, but what if it's just run by Genius Sports and it's a god-awful mess? And I was like, you're right. Like, if you're going to be drawing in, and this isn't an exaggeration, if you're going to be drawing in tens of thousands of fans to play season-long fantasy, you got to make sure that that bad boy operates smoothly, or they're going to look at it, go to play, it's going to screw up, and they'll be like, I'm never coming back to CFL fantasy ever again. Like, dude, you can't drop the ball on this one.
The Genius Sports debacle is probably the worst deal, arrangement, whatever you want to call it, that this league has done in its history. And that includes like getting into bed with the Gleibermans and some of the people that they are literally worse off today. Was it 3 years now into this thing?
I think it might be more than 3 years on the Genius Sports thing. But
they are still worse off today than they were the final day of the regular season the year before. I mean, you used to be able to get up-to-date stats. We used to play DraftKings and your lineups would update. Like, none of that happens now. I mean, it is such an embarrassment. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or whatever, but I think the CFL should cancel that deal and it should sue Genius Sports for damages for what they have put that league through, because it's been absolutely embarrassing. It's tough for the media. It's brutal for the fans, and it completely handcuffs so many of these other things like we were just talking about. So you have to wait till the end of a game sometimes to see if your guy hit a freaking prop. I have no idea where they are.
Well, we'll see where that goes. Hey, before we slide over to the NFL, there's lots to discuss there. Nico's dad texts in to 780-218-9999. And he says, I missed one game on this European soccer parlay. It was a 17-legger. He hit 16 of them and lost out. It was $50, paid $47,000. And he missed out on one game. I don't want to laugh, but that's an all-time kick in the nuts right there. That is he just sent another one.
To have the stones to drop a 50 spot on a 17-legger.
Yeah.
I guess soccer. I mean, you can probably find some pretty good favorites and some pretty good angles, but I mean, it's tough to run the table and go 17.
He texted me another one from a couple of weeks ago, which was a 15-legger. He lost the first game, hit the next 13, and then the last game was a tie. He bet $100, would have paid $337,000. So this guy sounds like my buddy Eddie the Gambler, who's just putting out like 18-leg touchdown scoring parlays every Sunday in the National Football League. God.
I love it.
All right, NFL Hustle, I'll let you have the floor first, buddy. I was wrong on the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have a defense problem. There's no doubt about that. They've given up 37, 38, and 41 points to the Bills, Chiefs, and Lions in their 3 losses so far this year. And Xavier Worthy obviously certainly helped Patrick Mahomes, who I think was QB1 in fantasy this weekend, or darn close to it. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah. Look at this flashy new lid.
Is that brand new?
Yeah, I got it when
you went down there. Yeah,
KC.
it's pretty sharp looking, actually.
It's got what is this? Like the print is like from a bandana or something.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, it's good. This is the one where we had to get into the trenches, the camel one.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense. They got to be feeling good coming off of that, though.
Oh, listen. I didn't love the Ravens getting the ball and just basically having their way with the Chiefs defense going down and scoring a touchdown on the opening drive. But I don't know. They showed Mahomes on the sidelines. He was locked in, came out. Obviously, they got field goals early on. But then to me, the biggest play in the game, I really thought the defense won that game as much as we'll focus on the offense and what Mahomes was able to do. Spags dialing up a couple of those blitzes, including the one, to me, the turning point in the entire game was the Leo Chenal interception, which was all the blitz. It was all the blitz. Lamar was rushed. He had to get the football out, and he just wasn't able to get his receiver into a position where he could put it anywhere safe. And Chenal got his hand on it. And then from there on out, I mean, the Chiefs sort of looked like the Chiefs. Tyquan Thornton's turned out to be really good, but the addition of Xavier Worthy, and let's not forget, Rashee Rice is going to be back in week 7. So I'm very excited about the rest of the season now. And even better, just speaking about what a great weekend it was for me. Bombers are back. Chiefs are back. And the Chargers, albeit who I did bet on, I wasn't too upset to lose that pick if they were going to lose outright. Jackson Dart. I saw somewhere a prop, like one of those specials.
Okay.
That was a Dart anytime touchdown and Giants to win. And I think it was like 20-1 or something like that.
Probably would have been 20-1 for them to pull that off.
If anyone had the stones to jump on that, good on you. But listen, the Chiefs, I mean, obviously, Worthy had a monster game, and Mahomes, everyone had a piece. I think Juju had a touchdown. Pacheco had a touchdown.
Yeah, it was funny.
Thornton had a touchdown.
I looked it up at one point. His first 3 passing touchdowns were to 3 guys who had only had 1 target in the game.
Yeah.
And they were touchdowns. Yeah.
So he was good. Kelsey had a nice game. So yes, the rumors of the demise of the Kansas City Chiefs were greatly exaggerated. They'll be there. And the AFC West is all of a sudden back on. Now, the funny thing is, I have Cincy and Survivor, I have Denver and Survivor this week. But, and you know what? They've already had their 2 bad losses. They could easily be 3-0 right now. So, I mean, I think that they take care of business tonight. But other big ones from yesterday.
Well, the Giants. I mean, yeah, Jackson Dart wins, but they lose Neighbors for the season. Torn ACL, massive blow. Sorry to everybody who has him in fantasy. I got him in Spite League. I'm probably going to try to trade him for like a guy who can help me right now to try to take a run at back-to-backs. But just that sucks. That sucks. Like, you're just finally excited. You're like, okay, Jackson Dart, Neighbors. Here, like, imagine being a Giants fan. You're all excited. No more Russ. They're going to Jackson Dart. Here we go. Boom. Neighbors out for the season. That is just the ultimate slap right in the face, man. That sucks.
Yeah, that was a massive, massive injury. Oh, and by the way, speaking of injuries, we can't finish up Chiefs-Ravens without talking about Lamar.
Yeah.
Like, Lamar got pulled in the fourth quarter, but I mean, it was still
was it cautious? Yeah, was it cautionary? Must have been.
No, because then he had something on his hamstring. Like, if you saw him sitting on the bench, they were icing it down or something. So maybe they did feel the game was lost and there was no reason to put him out there anymore. But imagine what happens to the Ravens prospects if Lamar's out for any. Now, listen, Cooper Rush, whatever. I'm sure he's an adequate backup. They're not winning. They're not winning with Lamar and that defense. They're sure as hell not winning with Cooper Rush and that defense. So, I mean, they finished the game, I think, 6 or 7 of their starters down. So I was listening to Simmons and Sal this morning. I mean, this could be like the Ravens could be the season from hell team, because it certainly started that way for them. And if Lamar's out for any period of time, I mean, what happens if they go to 1-5 or something like that? Pittsburgh, by the way, beating Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like Tomlin just quietly, whatever. We don't look very good. I fumble the clock. I do all these things, and yet we win.
Eric mentioned this morning, he saw a tweet yesterday that said, Mike Tomlin's the type of guy in blackjack who stays on 12 and still wins. Like, just doesn't hit. He's just like, nope, that's it. I'm going to stick with my 12 here and see how it plays out. But they pulled it off.
Yeah, they did. As I said, because of our activities on Saturday night, I did not see a lot of the 8:30 start Vikings.
I didn't think you probably would. How about you and me combining for as many passing yards as Jalen Hurts in the second half of an NFL game?
I mean, I did see the Bomber game last week, so I mean, I wasn't.
He went full Strevler in the second half.
It's, 0 passing yards and winning a game is crazy. And Tampa, you know what? I mean, listen, good on them for making a game of it. I mean, as they say, I was really focused in on the Chiefs game, so I was just kind of checking out scores as they went. Baker apparently had a couple mistakes late that, maybe, did them in. Big comeback by the Rams. An 88-yarder to Tutu Atwell with about a minute left. I mean, they were down by a touchdown with 4 minutes left in the game. So pretty amazing that they ended up covering the spread, but that was nice. And then how about the Jags? Like, I don't know what we take. Do we take more away from the Jags win and being 3-1, or the Niners losing at home to Jacksonville? I mean, both of those teams are 3-1, and I don't know, neither of them have seemed to be particularly good so far this year.
I don't think neither of those teams. I don't think division winner with neither of those teams from what I've seen so far this season. And apparently Brock Purdy dealing with some more issues with his feet today. Apparently his toe is not feeling very well today. So, and they have a short week. I think the Niners are the Thursday night game, right? It's Niners. Niners Rams.
Well, Niners Rams.
Yeah, that's a big one there. So, and Brock Purdy not great right now, at least as of this morning, not feeling very well. So there's that one. The Falcons are. I had them. It was one of my 3 spread picks that I hit this week. But we had a Falcons fan text in the show this morning. Was like, can you explain to me what my deal is with the Falcons? Like, they win the 2 games I thought they were going to lose. They lose 2 games I thought they were going to win. And we had Mike Tanier on our show this morning. He goes, congratulations. You just described the Atlanta Falcons for the last 10 years, essentially. So, yeah, I mean, and how about Kyle Pitts? What did Pitts, like, from a fantasy perspective, Pitts must have been close to tight end 1. I know he wasn't tight end 1. Tight end 1 was Goddard, who had, like, 4 catches but had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 70 and a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. And Bijan was huge through the air. What'd he have? 106 yards in the air. So I don't know what to make of Atlanta. Hopefully Washington can get, not that, what did Mariota finish? Yeah, one interception, couple of they didn't run him enough. He only had 2 carries for 20 yards. You got Mariota mixed in a little bit more. Detroit rolled. Cleveland hung 34 on the Browns. And I think the Lions get the Bengals this week. So that should be, they're in Cincinnati. Afternoon game on Sunday. They're going to put up 30 on the Bengals too, I think. So that'll be interesting there. What about tonight, Huss? What are you looking at tonight?
Well, two kind of this Jets-Dolphins game is a tough. Fields is going to be back.
Fields is back. Yep.
Which I think is a good thing. To me, I think it's Miami at home. They can't win this game at home against the Jets. It might be time to just blow it up. Many people would say it's already time to blow it up there.
If they lose at home to the Jets tonight, you think McDaniels get fired?
Yeah, I could see it happening.
That's a pretty low spot to
really
be.
Like him. The team does seem to really like him. Despite where now, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna take I'll lay the 2.5 on Miami. I do like Tyreek Hill to have a big game tonight. Tyreek likes the prime time, likes the spotlight. Got a touchdown last week. I'm seeing his. What do you see his prop at for receiving yards?
Tyreek receiving yards 65.5.
Yeah. I'm in on the over on that.
I feel like it either goes he has a huge game and they survive, or he has an awful game and he requests a trade after.
Yeah. That could be it. The Jets, I guess, what's the rushing prop on Fields?
Yeah, I was looking at this. We had a parlay put together earlier, and that was, what did I say? It was Garrett Wilson over 4.5 catches, and then J.K. Dobbins touchdown. That'll be in 4 straight games. Rush yards on Fields is, I thought it was 40. Yeah, it's 46.5. He's gone slightly over that, I think, in both of his starts. I think he was like 48, 49, 47, or let's see, Justin Fields game log. I had this up earlier today when I was looking at it. He was just over him. Well, yeah, 48 and 49 on his in his 2 starts so far.
I could see him getting to 50. I don't mind the over on Justin Fields. I don't really trust Tua for anything prop related.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
It's enough to kind of rely on one of his receivers for a prop. And then I guess Garrett Wilson for receptions. What's his number? So what do you have, 5.5?
It was 5.5. I moved it down to 4.5 for the parlay a little bit. He's got 30 targets in 3 games.
Oh, he's the guy. So,
yeah.
They're going to be going to him all night. And sometimes they'll just try to get the football into him, like more high percentage throws that don't necessarily turn into big yardage unless he breaks a tackle or two. But yeah, I think I'll get a little piece of Garrett Wilson. I'm on Tyreek Hill and the Fields rushing yard as well. And as far as the Broncos go, I'm with you on the J.K. Dobbins. I think we might get a good game from Courtland
Sutton. Yeah.
He's had a good game, a really quiet game so far. I think Bo Nix. This is an important game for Nix. I think they need to win, and they need to win convincingly. Just to get because the close games they've been in, they found a way to lose. But
so what do you like more? Courtland Sutton, what do you think? Courtland Sutton 5.5? Over 5.5 plus 105. His touchdown number, it's plus 143. I think I might like the touchdown more than the 5.5. His receiving yards are 64.5. I don't mind that one, actually.
I think I go with the yards for Sutton over the catches, just because every now and then he'll just get a 40-yarder.
Yeah. You know what I think we do here? Let's put together a little Tyreek Hill, Cortland Sutton. It's almost the exact same number. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that over to the boys here. We'll go Tyreek Hill over 65.5 yards, Cortland Sutton over 64.5 yards. What about that 7.5 in that game though? Broncos Bengals.
I think I'm gonna lay it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna lay it. Like, I just don't have a lot of faith in the Bengals offense right now. And I think that this the Broncos defense, I think, has. I mean, listen, they gave up, what was it, 29 to the Colts? They need a big game. And listen, if we saw what Minnesota did to the Bengals last week, I don't see why this would be any different this week. So to me, I think big game. The Denver side is, I think, the one that I want to be on tonight. I'd like last night's tie with the Packers. What a crazy game that was.
That was a crazy game. 40-40 tie in last night's game. Entertaining. Sucks when a game ends in a tie. We see the odd one in the CFL as well. So it happens on both sides of the border, but a 40-40 tie has never happened. They say it was the highest or second highest scoring tie in league history. I think it was the highest scoring tie in league history.
Well, I mean, listen, Green Bay got the ball, went down, scored a touchdown. Dallas goes 3-0. They get it back. They go down, score another touchdown. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to go to bed early knowing that this one is in the bag. And it really did seem like the entire game turned on the blocked extra point that got run back. Like that is where things sort of shifted.
Yeah, you're right.
Came back and went 13-2. What the hell's going on here? Oh, yeah, okay. And then, I mean, listen, the Jordan Love fumble at the end of the first half, and then Dak going bang, bang, scoring, like right at the end. Like, for the Cowboys to be leading at halftime was actually kind of hilarious. But the second half was unbelievable. I mean, it was so much fun. Great game. And listen, that tie, I think I get why LaFleur went for it, went for the field goal on that last play as opposed to trying to go for the touchdown to win. Because the loss in the conference, I think, would be more damaging. At least if you've got that tie, it's going to put you ahead of teams. You don't have to worry about tiebreakers anymore, essentially. It puts you right in the middle. And if you can get the same amount of wins as somebody else, you're automatically a step up in the division or elsewhere because of that tie. So I thought he made the right decision.
So what's coming up in WST, buddy?
Well, we're going to dive in. There was some bad news for the Jets on the weekend. Dylan Sandberg broke his wrist at the game on Saturday, so he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. We'll kind of dive into that, latest on Jets training camp. Obviously, plenty of talk on the Bombers. Derek Taylor's going to jump on with us. Mike McIntyre with the latest on the Jets. And we didn't even talk about the Blue Jays, and that's a great thing.
We'll get to the Jays tomorrow.
We'll get to that tomorrow, but we'll preview Major League Baseball futures and the wild card races as well. So it, like every show today, coming out of a weekend like that, is going to be packed.
All right, Huss, you have a good one, man. Chat with you tomorrow. Actually, no show tomorrow. We're off tomorrow. We'll be back Wednesday. We'll talk to you on Wednesday, buddy. Okay. Perfect. There you go. That is Huss. Winnipeg Sports Talk's coming up right away. I sent our parlay over to the boys at Play Alberta. It'll be Tyreek Hill over 65.5 receiving yards. Cortland Sutton over 64.5 receiving yards. We'll see what that number pops up as, but it'll be available on our EST specials page. If you haven't used that code yet, EST Sports, deposit 50, get a $50 free bet. The other one that I've got tonight from the Nielson show this morning, J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown, Garrett Wilson over 4.5 catches. Hey, let's cash them all. Let's cash both of these bad boys tonight. That is going to do it for Lock Shop. We've got Oil Stream preseason, has everybody going crazy. We're going to get into that as we work our way through the next hour, and then Hernan returns on EST Afternoons and the Reed Wilkins Show today from 3 until 6, right here and only here on TuneIn, on iHeart, and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and over on YouTube. Turn on autoplay as well. Thank you very much. If you're going to be riding with us tonight, best of luck, and we will talk to you tomorrow or on Wednesday on the Lock Shop.